recording on Wednesday, August 30th. August is almost over. Wednesday, August 30th, 2023 at 3:13 p.m. Eastern Time for the third time with Mr. John Cullen. If you go into the description, you can find his YouTube channel. You can find his Twitter. Please go follow both of those. And you've been on here a couple times before, and I do video game streams at night. And if people hang around to the end, which is normally like 2 in the morning, they'll be like, "Who's on tomorrow? What's on that?" So I was like, "Oh, John Cullen, we're doing a Vegas shooting." And one of my friends goes, he's gonna lull you right to sleep with that silky voice. And I was like, he does have a great voice. So that's, maybe you don't like the topic about, was it a gun running thing? Was it an assassination? How many people died? Don't get distracted by that. Listen to the crisp ASMR voice of Mr. John Cullen. But with that, Mr. Cullen, could you please introduce yourself for the people that maybe haven't watched our previous two episodes? And then we'll
Sure,
jump right into the Vegas shooting.
sure, yeah. So I'm John Cullen, and I have a channel on YouTube that's actually called the John E. Hoover Channel. And you can find that on YouTube at either youtube.com/John E. Hoover or YouTube/ at I am John Cullen. Either one of them will take you to the John E. Hoover Channel. And I started publishing videos shortly after the Las Vegas shooting. And I guess I started doing it because I reached out directly to the Washington Post and to the New York Times, and I didn't get a satisfactory response. And so I said, all right, then if that's the case, then I'll have to go onto social media and I'll publish my findings there if these guys aren't interested. And within a matter of weeks, I had a couple thousand followers on YouTube. And to me, I was like stunned. I was like, how do I have a couple thousand followers in a week? This is amazing. And by October, I guess it was October 28th, my original YouTube channel was taken down. And that was the I Am John Cullen channel. And YouTube struck the channel, killed everything, took all the videos, ghosted it like it
Yeah.
never existed. And I guess about a day or three later, I decided to relaunch, and I relaunched as Johnny Hoover. So now the channel has about 45,000 followers or subscribers, whatever you call it on YouTube. And I'm also on Twitter, and I'm pretty active on Twitter. And on Twitter, I'm at I_M_John Cullen. And John Cullen is a nom de plume that I took as a tribute back in, I think it was June of 1941. A Nazi submarine approached the coast off of Montauk, a town called Amagansett. And 4 or 5 Nazis got an inflatable and came ashore. And they were confronted by a U.S. Coast Guardsman named John Cullen. And when he went to his superiors and said, I just saw a bunch of Nazis down on the beach, they just came off a submarine. They said, get the hell out of here. What, you've never seen a submarine? What do you know about Nazi submarines? When was the last time you saw a Nazi submarine? When was the last time you met Nazis? How do you know they were Nazis? And so they dismissed what he brought forward. Well, he insisted and kept at it. And eventually they listened to him and said, maybe this Cullen guy's onto something. Maybe we should look into it. By the time they caught up with these guys, they were already in Chicago.
Please.
Okay.
Good.
So I took his name as a nom de plume because when I found out what I found out about this Las Vegas shooting, I fully expected the same type of treatment. I
Mm.
expected that everybody was going to dismiss what I was going to bring forward because it was so stunning and hard to believe that it would be just kind of dismissed out of hand. And because this was the first guy in the 20th century to face a wartime enemy on U.S. soil, and he was a Coast Guardsman, so the first member of the military to face an enemy. Most people don't even know that the Nazis landed in
Mm-hmm.
America. Most
Yeah.
people don't even know this. So, so the fact that he's the guy that was on the beach and he was unarmed when he confronted them, they didn't give the Coast Guardsmen guns in the time. So he's down on the beach and he doesn't have a weapon. They tried to bribe him. He wouldn't take the money. And they went and got on the Long Island Railroad and went into Manhattan. So that's kind of the setup for the story. So the day of the Las Vegas shooting. So the Las Vegas shooting is just about 30 days from now. It took place October 1st. September has 30 days. So, and it happened on a Sunday night. So September comes, and September 30th is a Saturday, and October 1st is Sunday night. And that's the night of the Las Vegas shooting. Well, Sunday night at 10 p.m. is when all hell breaks loose at the Harvest Festival across from Mandalay Bay. And I'm watching it from my office in Thailand. I was living in Thailand at the time. And in Thailand, 10 p.m. Vegas time is noon in Thailand the next day. So the shooting's taking place Sunday night in Vegas, but it's Monday at noon where I am. And I'm in my office. I'm doing work. And Drudge Report and Facebook and Twitter are lighting up Vegas shooting, like in real time, like 20 minutes after the hour, just as the shooting is ending. The posts are coming up all over the place that people are filming on their phones and posting to Twitter and posting to Facebook in real time. And so I'm sitting in my office in Thailand, and I'm watching this kind of unfold in real time. And because it's noon, it was the middle of the day, I was kind of rapt at attention. Nothing like this had happened in America. We never saw anything like this. So I'm watching all this take place. And next thing you know, you've got Joe Lombardo, the sheriff in Las Vegas, coming on the news and telling everybody, we got the guy. It's a lone gunman. We're looking for these cars. And I'm like, a lone gunman? How the hell do you figure that out already? It's 1:30 in the morning. How do you guys got up onto the rooftops of all those hotels and
they're that good.
Cleared them? And there's no brass up there. There's no shells on the rooftops of any of those hotels around the venue. How did you figure that out so quick? So I was kind of stunned by that. And as I'm watching the footage and I'm watching all these videos that are starting to show up, I'm like, this one guy shooting out a window? I don't know about that. And so I kind of threw myself into it in a bit of an obsessive compulsive manner and just kept watching as much footage as I could. And there was something about it that wasn't sitting right with me. And I couldn't put my finger on it. But I was just like, one guy shooting out a window? I'm just not buying it. I made a commitment to not stop. That I was just going to keep watching footage and watching footage and watching footage. By that night at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, my time in Thailand, I'm exhausted. I'm watching this stuff all day long. And I decided I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to pull an all-nighter. I pull an all-nighter. I work all through the night. And the next morning, I go back to my house. I tell my wife that I got to work on this. I'm going to go spend a couple days at the office. And I grab a sleeping bag and a cot, a military cot. And I spent the next 10 days at the office, during which time I came down with influenza, by the way, which kicked my... Yeah, this was the 2017, 2018 influenza that was wicked. And it kicked my butt. And I got it at while I was at the office working on this stuff. But basically, after 8 days living at the office, in fact, I called a plumber and had a plumber put a shower in my bathroom so that I didn't have to leave. Like I really didn't want to leave the office. Like I was in the office.
If you don't mind me asking,
I had a bathroom. Yeah.
To interrupt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why the office? Just I'm all about obsessive compulsive. I all the time, man. I just go in as just why the office as opposed to the home. Oh, okay.
I got 3 kids running around the house and a
okay.
wife,
No, that enough is the okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Gotcha.
Got a baby
I
at
got
home.
you.
And,
I got you. I'm thinking as me. I'm a 33-year-old single male, and my studio is in my spare bedroom. I'm like, why would you leave? Forgetting that not everyone has this.
Wait until you have 3 kids. Wait until you have 3 kids running around the house.
Noted.
So I've got a dedicated office where I do my work, right? And I have clients and all that kind of stuff that come to the office normally, and I got my computer and all my gear is in the office. Gotcha. So I'm watching videos, I'm watching videos, I'm watching videos, and I'm wearing my headphones, and I'm using in-ear custom molded headphones, Etymotic Research custom molded headphones, and I'm watching all this stuff. And on day number 8, I get goosebumps. And I see something that just, I'm like, holy, oh my God. And I realize that I had been looking on the rooftops. I was watching the footage, and I'm looking on the rooftop of the Excalibur. I'm looking on the rooftop of the Tropicana. I'm looking, the Luxor doesn't really have a rooftop because it's a pyramid. But I'm looking at all the footage, and I'm trying to find, where is the shooting coming from? And on the 8th day, I see the first helicopter. And it's going the wrong way. Oh, what the hell is this guy doing here? And I look at this thing called flight radar, and it's not on flight radar, meaning its transponder's turned off. Well, you're not allowed to do that. This is restricted airspace. It's Class B airspace. And don't tell anybody, Janet Airlines is the terminal for Area 51.
Yeah.
And it's right there. It's
Bob
right next
Lazar,
to it.
baby.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. So all this is happening, and I'm looking, and I'm like, what? Whoa, 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 whoa. The next day, I see a second helicopter. And on the 10th day, I see the third. And that's when I realized this was an aerial attack. Well, once we start getting the LVMPD official body cam footage, it's got the Axon timestamp. And once we had that, I was able to synchronize everything. I was using some audio software to synchronize the audio peaks and all that stuff. So was able to synchronize everything. And now we knew exactly what time everything was happening. And the net of it is, I isolated all of the footage on room 32-135, which is Paddock's room. And from the outside, looking on people's phones and such, and body cam footage, there's no gunfire coming from room 32-135. In fact, there's cops that are pinned down right across the street from the hotel. They're getting shot at. Not one of them points up and goes, hey, Bobby, look up there. Not one of them identifies that room or even that wing of the hotel. Nobody says, hey, look up there. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. They're all dumbfounded. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Is it coming from the Luxor? They don't know. They can't figure out where it's coming from. Yep. Well, we watch the isolation. There's no muzzle flash.
I was gonna say devil's advocate. You could put a flash hider on that, and then factor in adrenaline. I mean, I get just devil's advocate. I could see me not knowing where it's coming from.
So, but there's more.
Okay.
And the more part is there's no flash suppressors on any of the rifles in the room because they show us all the rifles and they don't have flash suppressors on them. Number 2, when the police officers enter the room 32-135, one of the officers goes to the window and he pulls the curtain back to see if the window's broken. And it's not. But the New York Times edited those 17 seconds out of their footage. And so did the Associated Press. The same 17 seconds of Officer Brett Brosnahan going to the window. And you can see all this stuff on my channel. If you search the Johnny Hoover channel for the word window, you'll find at least a dozen videos that explore which window was broken and when. So if the officer goes to the window, now keep in mind, Paddock's lying on the floor, dead, right? Officers are looking around, trying to figure out which window's what. He goes to the window, he opens the curtain, and goes, no, it's not. Now, if that window was broken, right, and that was the window that all the shooting took place, wouldn't that be the big reveal That would be the moment. You pull the curtain back and you call the guys over and you go, hey, Mikey, check this out, man. There's a hole in the window. Oh my God. Careful, guys. Don't
Yeah.
fall out of here.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa. No, there's none of that. In fact, the curtain's closed and the chair hasn't been moved. So did he shoot everybody through the curtain? Or did he shoot everybody, then close the curtain before he killed himself? And he didn't move the chair? Was he kneeling on the chair? Was he sitting in the chair and turning around? What? Why didn't he move the chair? Paddock was dead long before the shooting started. There's no gunfire coming from the room. We see that from the outside. And then we see the officer go inside the room and go to the window and check the curtain. And no, it's not. Not broken. Now imagine you're one of the cops in that suite. You got a dead guy on the floor. You got a whole bunch of guns and ammo in the room. Place looks like hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the window's not broken. And your body cam is on. Your body cam's on, my body cam's on. We just stormed this room.
Mm-hmm.
We got a dead guy on the floor, 20-something guns, thousands of rounds of ammo, and the window's not broken. What's going through your head right now? Is this the guy? How's this the guy if the window's not broken? And this guy's been dead for a while. We hear Bitsko, who at the time is a sergeant. Now he's already a captain. So in the 6 years since the shooting, he has gone from a K9 sergeant to a captain. And he says this guy's been dead for a minute. He's been lying there for, since 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Blood
Dead.
coagulating or something. Yeah, blood
He's already
coagulating.
He's white. Yeah, all over the place. So they're looking at him like, this guy didn't just kill himself an hour ago.
Yeah.
This guy's been lying here dead for hours. So the window's not broken. Do we go outside and tell everybody, well, we thought we had the guy. And we stormed into the room and we found a bunch of guns and stuff. But the window's not broken, so it can't be the guy, even though the guy is dead. But that can't be the guy because the window's not broken. So he couldn't have shot everybody across the street through the glass. This isn't a magic trick. So that's not the guy. So we want to thank everybody, but we don't know who did it. We assume that the guy who's dead on the floor with all the guns probably had something to do with it, but he couldn't have done it because the window's not broken. Now, the window is broken in that little room next door. There was that little adjoining room that they had to blow the door down. But the police department, the LVMPD, tells us in their first report that they call the FIT report, they tell us we only found 8 brass rounds in that room, and 8 shots were taken at the fuel tanks over by the airport. So if 8 shots were taken at the fuel tanks, that means they didn't kill anybody with those shots. They tell us 6 of them missed. 2 of them hit. Here's your 8.
Mm-hmm.
That means none of those 8 shots killed anybody. They were shooting at the tanks. 6 shots missed. 2 shots hit. No deaths. The other room, the window's not even broken. The window is broken in the little room, but there's only 8 shots taken, and they're all accounted for. So nobody was killed from the little room. Those were all shots taken at the tanks, according to the LVMPD. So if the window isn't broken in 32-135, and there's no evidence of gunfire coming from 32-135, looks to me like Stephen Paddock was hosting a little shooting get-together, or at least that's what he thought he was doing. In other words, if you said to me, dude, why don't you meet me in Vegas? Let's head out to the desert. Bring your guns. We'll set up some, Coke bottles, some Fanta, some Mountain Dew. We'll shoot them, we'll get it on tape. We'll do some slow motion stuff. We'll do our Hickok 45 imitations and all that.
Yeah.
And it'll be a riot, right? And you tell me, all right, listen, I'm going to bring my brother. I'm going to bring my brother-in-law. And I'm going to bring my cousin Mikey, right? All right, so now I got 4 of you guys coming, right? So I got 4 of you. Well, did you know that Stephen Paddock had 3 women checked into the hotel room with him? Did you know about that?
I didn't know that. I did not.
Oh, so they missed that on the news, I guess. Well, one of the things, so I guess again, the obsessive compulsive part was I kept watching all the body cam footage. And I figured, no, you know, I kind of took, what's that guy, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, right? He's like,
Yeah.
nobody's going to spend more time in the gym than me.
Yeah. Hardest
He's like,
worker
if
in
I
the
spend,
room.
right. He's like, if I spend 5 hours a day in the gym 6 days a week, there's nobody who's going to do more than that. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody's willing to put in that kind of time. And that's kind of my approach to this was if I watch all these body cam footage things, there's nobody that'll be able to keep up with me because I'm obsessive compulsive and I'll do it
Yeah.
for 18 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So there is a piece of footage in the security room where the Mandalay Bay security is talking to the LVMPD and saying, yeah, and he's registered. There's 3 women registered to the room with him. And you're listening to this on official LVMPD, you know, but they're like, okay, continue. And their names are Joanne, dude, Katie, dude, and Laura, dude. So they blank out their last names.
Yeah.
That's redacted.
Sure.
The next minute is redacted. All the audio is, you don't hear, in other words, you don't hear the police go, what the hell do you mean there's 3 women checked into the room? Get rid of that. You don't hear any of this. For a minute, they redact all the audio. There were 3 women checked into the room with him. Ah. So now, Stephen Paddock's got 3 women with him, whole bunch of guns, and tannerite.
Mm-hmm.
Tannerite goes boom, right? You tape some of it to a watermelon and boom, it you know, makes a mess all over the place.
Yeah, it's great.
He thought he's taken a bunch of guys out to the desert. The girls set him up. This was a honeypot. The girls set him up. The girls tell him, hey, listen, we've got some friends. They're kind of high rollers. They've all got Lamborghinis and Ferraris and McLarens and all that kind of stuff. And they really like to go out to the desert and go shooting. And there's a good chance that, you know, they're going to reach into their pocket and offer you 10 or 20 grand for one of your rifles, right? So you might walk out of here with $100,000, $200,000, right? If they decide they want to offer you money for your rifles, because you're allowed to make private gun sales, right? So you're not allowed to go purchase a gun with the intent of selling it to somebody else.
But you can, yeah.
But yeah, if you and I are out in the desert and I got one of my guns I've had for 4 or 5 years, and you said to me, dude, this is the gun I've always wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you $2,500 for this thing.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to sell that to you. That doesn't break any law. So that's kind of the idea here. And I think he thought he was taking 4 or 5 guys out. And the reason I think that is because he had a minivan. Who the hell's got a minivan? He's got 3 women with him. He's got enough guns.
Yeah, it was 21,
for 6, 7, 8 people. Right. Yeah. So if you got 8 people, you got him and 3 women is 4. 4 more guys is 8 people.
Yeah.
8 people, 24 guns is not excessive.
No.
For 8 people shooting at a thing.
I've gone shooting with guys through this pod. You have a whole picnic table. You got every pistol, every rifle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Bring toys out. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing, is that to people who don't shoot,
Gotcha.
It seems excessive, and for one guy, it seems excessive.
Yeah.
Why did he have 2 vehicles there? Sheriff Lombardo says we're looking for this minivan, Chrysler, whatever the hell, and we're looking for a Hyundai Tucson. But Mary Lou Danley is in the Philippines already. The new girlfriend is running around with Mary Lou's card, pretending to be Mary Lou. Okay? She sets him up. She tells him, these are my friends. They're rollers. Ferraris, McLarens, cash, caviar, champagne. You get it, right?
Yeah.
They're going to come. We'll take them out to the desert. I'm guessing you're going to walk out of there with $100,000, $200,000 in cash. That's the setup. The girls are with him in the room. The visitors arrive, right? Faisal, right? Faisal bin Muhammad arrives and says, oh, you must be Stephen. Salam alaikum. Bang, he's dead. Goodbye, Stephen. Stephen's done. Thank you, Stephen, for providing the arsenal of weapons and ammunition so that we didn't have to. Now, one of the cops on a body cam says, wow, there's a whole suitcase of AK-47 mags over there. Well, where's the AK-47s? Why do you have a whole suitcase of AK-47 mags if you didn't bring any AK-47s? You know what a pain in the ass it is to load AK-47 mags with 7.62?
Yeah.
It's a royal pain in the
Fucking
ass, right?
blister. Yeah, blisters.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you going to fill a suitcase filled with magazines loaded with 7.62 for AK-47s if you don't have any AK-40? Oh.
Yeah.
You mean the guys who told them they were going on took the AK-47s and went upstairs? What hotel is 3 floors up from room 32-135? What hotel is that 3 floors up?
I don't know.
If you go, if you go 3 floors up in Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay. Okay, yeah.
All right, so you're Mandalay Bay. You get in the elevator on 32, and you say, okay, I want to go to 33, 34, 35. Okay. And what's on the next floor?
I don't know how tall the building is.
The Four Seasons.
Okay.
There's another hotel.
I didn't know
that.
Okay.
Why didn't you know that? Because Bill Gates was the big time owner of the Four Seasons. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay. And Al-Walid bin Talal was his partner. Al-Walid bin Talal, 45%. Bill Gates at 45%. And Isidore Sharp has 10% of the company. He's the founder. There's no signage that says Four Seasons on that side of the building. You got to go around the back, and there's a special entrance for the Four Seasons. But if you go 3 floors up from Paddock's room, that's the Four Seasons. Different carpeting, different wallpaper, different furniture, different decor. Right? So who was staying at the Four Seasons? Ooh.
What's it?
MBS.
Can't be certain.
Can't
MBS?
be certain. Can't be certain.
Okay.
Can't be certain. Can't be certain. But let's assume hypothetically he was staying in Al-Walid bin Talal's presidential suite, which are the 3 floors, 35, 36, and 37. Or 36, 37, 38. It's 3 floors in a row. Four Seasons. Right above Paddock's room.
Oof.
Isn't that perfect?
Oof.
Grab the AK-47s, you go up 3 floors, and something happens at 9:47 p.m. So everybody thinks the attack begins at 10 o'clock. At 9:47 p.m., something happens during another song of Jason Aldean's. And it happens at the Four Seasons. And it appears like there's a gun battle going on upstairs. It's like, whoa, what the hell is this? Well, we have eyewitnesses, ear witnesses. Somebody heard what they thought was the water pipes banging. It was gunfire at the Four Seasons, and they hear this at the time that it's taking place, 9:47 p.m. You can find that on the channel too, on the Johnny Hoover channel. So there's videos that talk about what happened 9:47 at the Four Seasons upstairs. You've got a bunch of guys come in, they say hi to Steven. Steven's dead. They grab the AK-47s because that's what they're familiar with. How many magazines do they need each? 3, 4 magazines? I mean, you're not going to grab 8 magazines. You know, you're in and you're out. You know, they got a job to do.
And for someone that may be thinking that this is all so convoluted, why would you do that to get a gun? The whole point of like a black operation, like the CIA can afford 1 trillion guns. Like, let's say the CIA is doing something in Yemen. No, you get cash and you buy something from like a local bazaar. It's so there's no footprint. That's the whole idea. So for anyone thinking that's like a hole in it, that's why you would go through all this trouble is no fingerprint. No one knows who it is. It's not that you checked into the airport with, hi, so-and-so from Saudi Arabia, and we're checking all of your, no. It's no fingerprint.
All right. Well, assume for a minute
Okay.
that MBS and his entourage, his family, are staying at the Four Seasons. Use
Okay.
that as a placeholder. Straw man hypothesis.
Okay.
If he's staying at the Four Seasons and your intent is to kill him at the Four Seasons,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell are you going to get a whole bunch of guns into the hotel if you are a bunch of Al Qaeda guys that
Yeah.
look Arabian, right? You
Yeah.
look like Arabs. You are Arabs, so you look like Arabs. So how are you going to get a bunch of guns in if he's got his whole security detail there? You're not. But some white guy over Mandalay Bay, nobody's expecting that.
No.
So you get the white guy to bring the guns. It works.
Huh?
You get the white guy to bring the guns, bang, no more white guy. Okay, now we got a lot of guns and a lot of ammo and a dead 60-something-year-old white guy on the floor that nobody seems to give a damn about.
Big fat patsy.
And he's done. And they don't care. If you're Al Qaeda, so I believe that the killers are Al Qaeda sympathizers, meaning the same people who were behind the funding of the September 11th attacks. So the stuff that's in the 28 pages that's all
The
redacted.
redacted. The house is out.
It's right. And it's those same people, except
Yeah.
now it's their kids. Now it's
Yeah.
their sons. It's 20 years later.
Yeah.
So it's the same people though. And they really don't like America. And MBS, November the 5th, not even 5 weeks later, like 35 days later,
Was that the purge?
arrests everybody at the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
I will lead. Everybody gets arrested, and everybody's like, what is this guy out of his mind?
Yeah.
What is he doing? And I'm sitting there going, holy moly, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. They tried to kill him. They tried to kill him 4 weeks earlier. Well, he's a pretty poetic guy. And it turns out that November the 5th is also the anniversary of the assassination attempt of King James. You know the mask that everybody wears, or, you know, that the scream. Yeah, exactly, the Guy Fawkes mask. That was November 5th, 1605.
Yeah. Oh, that's the line, right? Yeah. Remember the 5th of November.
So they try and assassinate King James, and the plot fails. It was called the gunpowder plot.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
try
yeah.
and
Try to blow
assassinate
it
the
up. Yeah.
king. Yeah, they try to assassinate the King of England, and it fails. The plot fails. On the anniversary of that, he arrests 200 Saudi royals for attempting to kill the crown prince. But there's one guy who doesn't make it to the Ritz-Carlton. His cousin, Mansour bin Mukran, whose father had been the head of the Saudi CIA at one point, and was also the crown prince at one point, until MBS got the job, and the head of the CIA in Saudi Arabia got pushed aside. So when the head of the CIA in Saudi Arabia gets pushed aside for the crown prince job, that's Mukran bin Abdulaziz. When Mukran gets pushed aside, Mansour bin Mukran's going, whoa, 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 whoa! My dad was going to be king.
Yeah.
If my dad was going to be king, that means I was going to be crown prince. That means I was going to be king. And you're giving it to this guy, my cousin, Well, there's an article that gets published by The Guardian where the Saudi royals are all bitching and whining about MBS becoming the crown prince. And they're saying, no, this is no good. We're not going to have it. And I'm reading the article like, guys, you're not supposed to admit a coup in writing. Like, you're not supposed to tell everybody what you're planning to do here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the Guardian article reads. I mean, basically, you read the article, it's like they're planning a coup d'etat. They're going to get rid of MBS one way or the other. Sure enough, there's been multiple attempts on his life. And when you look at the evidence and you realize, well, wait a second, there's no gunfire coming from the room. Where's it coming from? It's coming from helicopters. Who the hell has helicopters near Las Vegas? El Chapo? Yeah, but again, so when I started researching it, I kind of I had a moment where I had to say to myself, is it likely that guys who trained at Quantico, guys who trained at the farm, would get in a helicopter and go shoot 20-something-year-old American women in the head?
That's a good point. Yeah, no, it's for all
Is
their
that a
evil shit.
like?
They're probably
Is it
those are your
likely?
those are your rank and file patriots. Yeah, not
Right, right.
okay.
And I'm
All
like,
right, fair
who
point.
who are these guys that would do that? And I'm like, if that's the final scenario, I'll leave it on the shelf until then. But let me
Yeah,
see if other scenarios fit better than our guys who took an oath, got in a
mm,
helicopter one night, went and shot 20-something-year-old girls in the face. It
yeah.
was like, so what I started to look at is, well, who would do something like that? Who would shoot women in the head? Women in hot pants and cowboy boots.
Haram women.
Who who would do it? And for them, it would be like, that's fair game.
Oh, yeah, no, they're cleaning up a sin.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Al Qaeda. Right.
Ah.
So so if you're a Wahhabi and you identify as Al Qaeda,
Hmm.
American women in hot pants and cowboy boots, that's
They're
to,
nothing.
to them, to them in their culture, that's the same as a chicken or a pig.
Well, not only that, they're
To them.
actually. It's not even that it's nothing. It's they're actually doing a little bit of good in the world, right? They're cleaning up.
To, right, it's a heathen. So
Yeah.
to them, killing a heathen is, like you said, it's lower than killing a chicken or killing a goat or something like that, killing something for food. So that's their mentality, and this is how these guys are raised. And so for them to get in a helicopter and go raise hell, it's very similar to what they do in Yemen. That's
Hmm.
what these guys do. They fly around in helicopters and shoot people, right? I mean, it's what they do. That's what they were doing here. Now, this has never happened on American soil before. And that's why normalcy bias kicks in. People are not expecting to be shot at from helicopters in America.
Yeah.
This is not Yemen.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, this has never happened here before. So the cops are pinned down and don't realize it's coming from the helicopters. They don't realize it. And yet we see the helicopters in the footage. You see them on the body cam. You see them flying around, and they're not they're not on flight radar. So the net of the investigation is, I'm like, all right, so wait a second. If the shooters are in helicopters, who the hell's got helicopters nearby? And who would do something like this? Who's this evil that they would go shoot women? All right, so El Chapo. But what the hell would he do it for? What would the motive be? Was
Yeah.
Jim Murren sleeping with El Chapo's wife? Was that, the CEO of Mandalay Bay sleeping with El Chapo's wife? I don't think so, right? I mean, that's not jumping out at me. Why would El Chapo want to do something like this? He's like the only guy I can think of close enough that would have
Have
helicopters that
that
would do
power.
something this evil.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, all right, what about the September 11th crew, the guys from the 28 pages? Would they do something like this? Well, hell yeah. I mean, they do anything, give or take, right? So certainly they get the evil check, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
they're evil enough to do something like this. Well, do they have access to helicopters? Oh,
They could have.
where,
Okay, they could
where,
afford it. They,
well,
but
where would they be? Where would we find Al Qaeda having access to helicopters? Okay. And this is important because Laura Loomer said she thought it was ISIS. And I said, you're close, but ISIS can't fly. ISIS has the Toyota pickup trucks with the machine guns in the
they got
back, but they don't know how to
pilots. Yeah.
fly helicopters. ISIS doesn't fly helicopters. In fact, when we gave the helicopters to the Taliban, they start
They
crashing
crashed
them
them.
all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So ISIS can't fly, but Al Qaeda is more old school. Al Qaeda has roots that go back 20 something years.
Well, yeah, they go back to the
And
Mujahideen. Yeah.
exactly. And these guys, if you're working in the Saudi Air Force or the Saudi Arabian National Guard and you're a pilot and you have allegiance to Al Qaeda and your group, the Wahhabi group, is not on board with this MBS Crown Prince thing and feels that it should be a hardliner one of the older members of the family, of the Saud family, right? There's a bunch of 70-year-old guys who are saying, I waited my whole life for this, and you're giving it to MBS. He's 31 years old. He can't wait till he's 60? We're all in our 70s. But, we all waited. So there was a lot of angst over this selection. I think they tried to kill him. I think that Al-Walid bin Talal, who owns 45% of the Four Seasons, says to MBS, October 1st, 2017 is a Shura. You didn't know that, did you?
I don't know what that is.
What is a Shura? All right, so a Shura is the Muslim equivalent of Passover.
Okay.
Same story. It's the story of Exodus. So Jews have this dinner thing they call Passover, and they have special food and this and that, and they tell the story of Exodus, right? It's a story of Moses, and he goes to the Pharaoh, and he's like, let my people go, and they go out in the desert, and they cross the Sea of Reeds, and all this other stuff. Well, the Muslims celebrate the same exact story, but it has another name, and the name is Ashura. And it happens on a different date, by the way. The calendars are completely misaligned.
Oh, that's one word, Ashura.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying it's a. I thought you meant like, okay. I thought you meant like there's multiples. No, it's a holiday. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. No. The name of
the
holiday
gotcha.
ASHURA.
Noted. Okay. And that's October 1st.
October 1st, 2017. It's not October 1st the year before, the year after. It moves every year. But this particular year, it's October 1st. Now, think about this for a minute. Here's the pitch. I'm Al-Walid bin Talal, the owner, biggest shareholder in Citibank, biggest shareholder in Twitter. I say to you, young MBS, the new Crown Prince, my cousin, I insist. I want you to take your wife and the kids. I want you to take the family, your whole entourage, to the Four Seasons for Ashura, because we got the pyramid right out the window. I've got a Sphinx right out the window. I got the Luxor right out the window. And you're telling the kids the story of the Exodus from Egypt.
Okay. Yeah.
I own the joint.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the whole wing. I want you and your wife and the kids. You take the whole wing of the Four Seasons. You tell them the story of Ashura. You got a pyramid out the window. You got a Sphinx out the window. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
Now they know where he's going to be. They put him there. They insist. It's free.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. It's a gift. It's a gift to the family. Happy Ashura.
Yeah.
Happy Ashura. Bring your whole entourage. Take 3 floors in the building. Take the whole wing. I don't care.
Paying tribute to the king.
That's it. My cousin.
Only the best.
Prince.
Only the best.
You got it. Now we know where he's going to be. The girls set up Paddock. Paddock's dead, before sunset.
Paddock's more confused than we are. Paddock's like, what happened?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what the hell's going on.
You talk to Paddock after life. You're like, Paddock, why'd you do it? He's like, do what?
Yeah, he gets one right in the face. So he's dead. And now the real killers have got an arsenal of weapons to work with. They go upstairs. Something goes wrong at 9:47. Those guys get killed. Who the hell knows what happens? MBS gets out of the building. Now, how do we know this? Because at 10:13 p.m., before the shooting ends, Maverick Helicopters takes off with what on flight radar appears to be 7 helicopters. But the dog walking guy, who's an eyewitness, who watched all this take place and didn't know it was a shooting, but knew something was wrong. He knew something was up, couldn't hear the gunshots because he was too far away. But he's watching all this helicopter activity. He's like, what the hell is going on here? And he counted them. And he said, there was 14 helicopters. So every other one had the transponder on, kind of like a breadcrumb trail, or tracers, right? When you fire tracers, not every round is a tracer. Right, exactly. So every other helicopter appears to have had their transponder on, because he counted them and said, I counted 14 helicopters return to base, and we only see 7 of them leave. But we do see 2 of them divert. Two of them turn the transponders off and head to the south and don't return to base. One of them doesn't return to service for months. MH848 doesn't return to service for months. And what are these guys doing taking off in the middle of a shooting? You can't wait. The tour has to go on. You can't wait for the shooting to end. The people who just got off the Sunrise helicopter looks like they just soiled their pants. And you guys are going?
Yeah.
No. Now, that was an exfiltration. What happened was the pilots at Maverick are former military pilots, and they exfiltrated MBS's entourage to the south, got them the hell out of there, and the bad guys left. It turns out that the United States Army has been training the Saudi Arabian National Guard in how to fly our helicopters in Mesa, Arizona, 275 miles away. That's about the range of the helicopters. Refuel in Kingman, Arizona, which is as the bird flies right along the way. And they got plenty of fuel to do what they got to do and get the hell out of there. So you need means, motive, and opportunity, right? The motive, they published it in The Guardian. They want to get rid of them. They want to get rid of MBS. The means, they got the helicopters right nearby. They got the weapons.
Got more money than God.
Right. So, and they've got the opportunity. Again, the helicopters are near enough. They've got the helicopters. Who else has got helicopters that would do something like this? So when you look at all the pieces and then you look at the November 5th activity, and then sort of the cherry on top of the sundae is the killing of Jamal Khashoggi. The killing of Jamal Khashoggi took place on the 1-year anniversary of the Las Vegas shooting to the minute. The minute.
And I'm going to be a terrible host and go to the restroom real quick, and you're going to tell everybody where to find you, and then we'll resume.
Okay.
Mr. Cullen, take it over. Welcome to Cullen.
All right. So while Tommy's doing what Tommy's got to do. So the story behind the Jamal Khashoggi killing, Jamal Khashoggi enters the Turkish embassy to get the papers to get married on October 2nd at 8 o'clock in the morning. But October 2nd at 8 a.m. is October 1st at 10 p.m. in Las Vegas. So as he walked through the door of the Turkish embassy, it was 10 p.m. Las Vegas time, October 1st, exactly 1 year from when the shooting began. So by 10:15 or 8:15 a.m. Turkey time, it's a pretty good chance that Jamal Khashoggi knew that these were his last minutes on Earth. The shooting ended at 10:17 p.m. in Las Vegas. That's when we hear the final shots. And then we don't see the helicopters anymore. They're gone. So it appears that they disappeared. And again, MBS appears to be very poetic. Mansour bin Mukran didn't make it to the Ritz-Carlton. He was killed in his helicopter on his way to the event. So he and his entourage were shot out of the sky. So Mansour bin Mukran is killed in his helicopter, doesn't make it to the Ritz-Carlton. So to me, that was sort of a special delivery, special message from MBS. And then 1 year later, we have on the exact anniversary to the minute, we've got the dismembering of Jamal Khashoggi. And the thing that I always found interesting was that nobody was curious as to why would you cut Jamal Khashoggi up? Why would you chop him up into pieces like that? What did the guy do? Did he owe you $20? I mean, why would you cut a guy up like that? Now, I think I know why. Because you kind of have to look at it from, well, why would you cut a guy up? And I'll tell you why I would cut a guy up like that. Right? Because I've got a recording of him on the phone telling some other guy how to kill my wife and how to kill my kids in front of me before they kill me. First kill the kids, then kill the wife, then kill me. Here's how I want you to kill the kids. Here's how I want you to kill the wife. then kill MBS. And MBS is like, I got the recording. This is you talking Farzwaz over here.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta kill him.
You kill him and you record it. You make a video of it. And you show the rest of the cousins
What
Jamal
happens?
Khashoggi going into the deli slicer.
Yeah.
And then you let them know. And by the way, that's your brother Jamal in the sandwich you're eating right now. Isn't that fun, guys? You're eating Jamal right now. That's it. You thought that was corned beef? No, that's Jamal beef. You're having corned beef sandwiches? No. I would have recorded it and shown
That's
them.
fucking hardcore. That's Cartman from South Park.
But that's what you got to do. And then you say, all right, so watch. This is him losing his thumb. Look, what that we cut his thumb off, right? And here, oh, now we're gonna watch. They're gonna cut his tongue out. You guys see that? You see how they remove his tongue? You want to keep playing games?
Yeah, you want to keep fucking around?
Right, right. You want to keep playing games? You're next. Now, Jamal Khashoggi is not a sod. He's not a sod. Al-Walid bin Talal is a sod. Mohammed bin Nayef is a sod. Maiteb bin Abdullah is a sod. Mansour bin Mukran is a sod, and he killed him anyway. I think Mansour bin Mukran is the guy who was behind the Guardian article. He's the one who'd opened his mouth. That's why his helicopter never made it to the Ritz-Carlton. He was killed in the air. The two worst deaths that MBS has levied were Mansour bin Mukran and Jamal Khashoggi. I believe Jamal Khashoggi planned it and funded it along with Al-Walid bin Talal, who lost at least half his wealth and has not left the kingdom. Al-Walid bin Talal hasn't stepped foot in the United States in 6 years. So I believe Jamal Khashoggi helped plan and fund it. That's why he was killed on the anniversary to the minute of the Las Vegas shooting. Are there any questions or things in the chat that we can see if anybody wants to see?
Pull it up. I mean, I
only see one person in the Rumble chat.
Again,
233. That's the only person I see.
They're hit or miss. Some people, sometimes they flood, sometimes they watch. Let's see. Rand, yeah, it's all we got. Rand 223 is. Let's see. 233. I'm covering up on it, brother. No, he doesn't believe you. So he's selling us a cover kit. Yeah. No. But get 130 people watching, which honestly is sometimes the best compliment is when no one's talking and everyone's listening. So I would take that as a positive. So I mean, if you're MBS though, you know, this may sound like stuff out of a movie or out of like the Old Testament, but this is what happens at the rarefied air of, you know, the throne of a country, and not a poor country. This is what happens. Like this is, I mean, the idea of like Caesar and assassination and that stuff didn't go away with the ancient times. It's here now. It's just now it's blacked out helicopters and suppressed belt feds. It's still here. It is still the highest. Absolutely. It's the highest apple.
You're absolutely right. And if any of you guys have seen the movie Syriana, this is very similar, except it's cousins and not brothers. In fact, MBS and KBS are very close. So Khalid bin Salman and Mohammed bin Salman are very close. They trust each other. I trust the two of them. I think they're the best thing that's happened to Saudi Arabia in 75 years. I think they're fabulous. And what they're trying to do is great. And people who have bad things to say about MBS look at the Night of the Long Sword, November 5th, and don't understand the backstory. Again, if you knew that they were trying to kill him and that the Las Vegas shooting was an assassination attempt on the guy and they tried to kill him in helicopters, well, now November 5th makes a hell of a lot of sense. It's like, oh, so he's not a power-hungry lunatic. They tried to kill him. Oh, well, that kind of changes everything, doesn't it? So that's sort of the hypothesis I've put forward. And quite frankly, no one has come forward with a better, more researched hypothesis saying, well, the Venezuelans had helicopters over here in Utah. There's none of that, right? There's not an alternate hypothesis that's similarly well researched that says, well, these guys had a motive and
plausibility, yeah,
right, and the helicopters and all that. Again, other than El Chapo, I can't imagine who the hell's got 6 helicopters like this. And again, when you listen to these eyewitnesses, you listen to dog walking guy, you listen to the knights, you listen to the sharks. There were people that were at that went to see the Excalibur jousting thing and came out and they're like, "Holy mackerel, it's helicopters!" There's guys that went to the hockey game. They were at the what is it, the Las Vegas Knights, right? No, the Sharks. The Shark. Yeah, the Knights versus the Sharks. Same thing. They see
Mm.
helicopters. So we've got eyewitnesses. Well, how the hell? Where's El Chapo getting Black Hawk helicopters from?
Yeah, it's entirely
Where's he getting
different
a?
if it's
Yeah, Apache. Yeah. So we've established that these guys had the aircraft sitting on the tarmac, Mesa, Arizona, as the crow flies. For these guys, it's like a 90-minute flight or something. That's nothing.
Mm.
They refuel and they're ready to do what they had to do. No transponders were turned on. There's over 250 videos on this on the
Mm.
Johnny Hoover channel. 250 videos on this topic on the
Yeah.
Johnny Hoover channel. You can look into windows, helicopters, the Saudis. You can search on those keyword terms if you go to the channel and look at the videos tab, and then search for window, search for Saudis, search for anything that you want to dig into deeper.
And as I always quote him, Tim Dillon. He's a comedian, but he's wildly intelligent. He's actually over the last several years I've gotten into so many different conspiracies and stories through him. But one thing he talks about is I think he was talking about 9/11 and the redacted, but it kind of applies here. Is he's like unfunded terror attacks, or maybe what you see in London, guy with a knife stabbing 9 people, or maybe even Nice, France. You get in a a semi truck and go through a crowd. Still horrible, but that's your unfunded radical. Whenever things are involving just like high level sophistication, dude, that ain't Muhammad from a cave. This is, you know, this is something. There's coordination. There's precision. There's it's working like clockwork, and especially with this. I mean, you get
Well,
blacked out
imagine.
helicopters. Who the hell has blacked out helicopters?
Well, imagine how flat-footed the CIA looks when something like this happens. The other thing to keep in mind is that America would want to seek revenge, right? We better go kick somebody's ass, right? That's usually our response. But the problem is it's a coup d'état attempt from inside a government. You've got two different factions. So who are you going to wage war against? You can't
A
you can't really do that.
a government we're on good. We're buddy buddy with because they've got oil.
Well,
This isn't. We were,
yeah, 3 years
but
ago. Yeah, 3 years
sure,
ago we
but it's
were.
not. It's not. This isn't some random shithole in Africa. This
Well,
is
let
Saudi
me let me
Arabia.
leave. I'll leave you guys with one last piece that
All
you
right.
can dig into a little bit. So, a lot of people have said, why did Jared Kushner get $2 billion from MBS for his hedge fund? Huh. They were pretty close, weren't they? MBS and
Mm,
Jared and Ivanka were always seen together. It was
mm,
sort of almost like Jared was like the U.S. ambassador to Saudi Arabia unofficially, and got a lot done. He got some accord where Saudi Arabia and Israel
mhm,
agreed not to kill each other and all that stuff. And there was an aircraft that landed at McCarran Airport at 10 p.m., a Citation C-550, and it taxis up to Signature Flight Services, and it pulls up at 10:05. And that's when all hell broke loose. It's kind of weird.
mm.
Right as that C-550 pulls up to Signature Flight Services, all hell breaks loose. Was Jared Kushner on that airplane with Khalid bin Salman coming in from Sacramento? Did they just have a meeting in Sacramento with somebody
Mm.
and just landed at 10 p.m.? Were Jared and Ivanka guests of MBS for Ashura? Were Jared and Ivanka there?
MBS wasn't he was definitely
If,
not alone in terms of hated leaders who the government around wanted to remove. He
well,
thought
well,
about
think
Donald
about this
Trump.
hypothetically. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
hypothetically, if Jared Kushner had gone through this evening together with MBS side by side, getting shot at, escaping, getting on the helicopters at Maverick,
It's trauma bonding.
flying. There you go. There you go. If they went through this together and lived,
There.
and next thing you know, they're in a safe house in the middle of nowhere that they just flew into the backyard in a helicopter
Yeah.
after thinking they're about to die. Does that explain MBS giving Jared $2 billion?
Mm.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. These guys possibly forged a bond that night that's as close as any
Yeah.
if they went through what I think they did together. And again, this is what the evidence indicates as far as you put all these pieces together and it works. And we don't have another set of pieces that when we put together, it works. We don't have that. And so that's why we have to use inductive reasoning, not deductive reasoning. And with inductive reasoning, you're never going to be 100% accurate because you don't have all the evidence. They're hiding evidence from us. So with the evidence that we've been able to gather, it appears that this is what happened.
Shooting into the crowd. What is that? Is that a smoke screen? Is that a cover the tracks? Is that a
So the attack at 947 fails. Now we've got to flush him out of the building. The people who planned the attack are the former CIA guys in Saudi Arabia. So they know what the exfiltration protocols are. They know what triggers.
Okay.
Get him out. Get him out, sir. We've got to get you and
pull
the
fire
family.
alarm. Everybody runs out.
Right.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So these guys
mag
know
dumping into a crowd. Yeah.
Right.
That'll do it.
If there's bedlam and sirens and, all hell is breaking loose outside, sir, we need to get you and the family now. We're leaving the building.
We're leaving.
They exfiltrate. Right. They get in the cars. And what the guys in the helicopters were not expecting is that MBS's entourage was going to go to Maverick helicopters. They were not expecting that. And they go to Maverick. And next thing you know, you see this flotilla leaving from Maverick. It's like, well, where the hell are these guys going at 10:13 p.m.? The shooting's not over. And they're going somewhere? Then we hear air traffic control talk to Maverick. Maverick guys say, yeah, no, it just looks like the concert's getting out. Air traffic control says, what the hell's going on over there? Oh, nothing. It just looks like the concert's getting out. So they're covering. The Maverick guys are playing it down like they don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, the pilot's sitting there and he's got the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia right behind him.
Yeah, that makes that makes sense. I mean, I love the game Hitman, and yeah, if I ever screwing up and I can't get the target, oh yeah, no, I'll throw like a gas can and just shoot it. Everything goes crazy, and then you can see the hit. Whoever your target is, they all have like a VIP. Yeah, they're moving. And it's like there's your window. Yeah, that's yeah.
So it appears that that's what happened. And again, you guys can watch these videos on the YouTube channel. Channel's not monetized. So if you live in America, there's no ads.
Yeah.
Nothing. You just get to watch it because they won't monetize my work. It's too controversial.
Yeah.
If you live in Europe, I think it is monetized over there, but not to me. I don't get any of the money. YouTube's keeping the money. So, yeah, I don't get 2 cents from YouTube. I don't want them to know my personal information. So
fair enough.
That's
fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not monetized.
I'm not allowed on YouTube, so no, I got you. But yeah, I mean, and then why wouldn't you hear about it? Well, one, it's a black eye to the U.S. government that this shit happened in your backyard, and at worst, was there any complicity? Did you let something happen? Did you, did you have some?
No, we just suck. No, we just suck.
Okay.
And MBS says to President Trump, please, I'm going to catch these guys.
Gotcha. I'm going to deal with it.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Let me deal with this my way. Because if we let your morons deal with it, it's going to take 4 years. Yeah. If you let me deal with it, it's going to take 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Sure enough, November 5th, he's got them all rounded up. And Mansour bin Mukran's already dead. Shot out of the sky. Blown to bits in his helicopter. Oops. Oops, that sucks, right? I hate when your helicopter gets shot out of the sky accidentally. That's always a disaster.
Always ruins your day.
Yeah, and his dad had been the crown prince. What a remarkable coincidence that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see it all come together like this, it's like, well, that explains November 5th. So the
I
CIA was caught flat-footed. Nobody knew what the hell was going on. These guys, again, it's Al Qaeda. If your name, doesn't have a bin in the middle of it, you don't speak Arabic, you knew nothing.
yeah.
Jesus Campos, Stephen Schuck, they're not in on this.
No,
This has nothing to do with them. This
no.
is a hit. This is a hit team. These are professional commandos coming in to kill somebody. Jesus Campos is lucky that he got one to the calf.
Mm.
Lucky. He's
Yeah.
lucky. Got it to the calf,
Yeah.
right? And it went through a door before it hit him.
Yeah.
So he got a 223 round to the calf after it passed through a wood door. So he's lucky.
That's about as good as he can get. That's
Yeah,
a
damn
through
straight.
a
That's
two two
exactly
three
right.
through a door to. He's probably looking
Yeah.
at God, going, "Appreciate it, big man."
Thank you.
That's why
Exactly.
he's shutting his fucking man. I don't blame him. He's going, "I don't fuck." You're seeing the powers
Keep
at
my
play. You're him. You're going, "I'm out of
well,
here."
and once you realize who the real killers are, and that the real killers are commandos, Al Qaeda commandos.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Start opening
Yeah,
your mouth?
right. And that's
Yeah.
when
What?
you really keep your mouth shut. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And if you live over there, if you live in Vegas, you see guys that look like those guys driving around the McLarens all the time. And you're like, they live here. They like it here. They're
Mm,
always here. And you keep your mouth shut. And I think they
yeah.
got him a condo over at the Aria or something. They just gifted him one.
You wouldn't
So,
need to give me shit. I would just shut up. It's
they gifted him a condo, so he's
yeah.
really shutting up.
Yeah.
So,
No. He's
so
just
that
yeah. Wrong place, wrong time for him, and he's yeah. No wonder he's not open. I guess that's what I'd right from the first time I'd read it, probably in like
Mhm.
2018, I'd always kind of the only thing that ever made sense to me was the Saudi hit idea. The one thing I had always not fully walked out was I guess the theories I had heard is people were like, and then they were angry it failed, so they shot into the crowd. I'm like, that doesn't pan out. You just I'm angry, but
No, no, no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
that
no.
makes sense. It's your this wasn't your you would rather have done it
Well,
plan
that's why
A,
they were
plan
shooting at the
B.
tanks. That's why they
Yeah.
shot at the tanks. If you could get the fuel tanks to blow up, now it's like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. Well,
Cue
no.
Bruce
Yeah.
Willis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cue
You
Bruce
got plan
Willis in
A,
a tank
plan
top.
B. The very
Oh
end is
yeah,
like, yeah, the very end
right.
is,
So when the tanks don't go, all right. So now what do?
yeah, dump into
Shoot
the
up the
crowd.
concert. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shoot up the concert. Get a bunch of bloodshed
Yeah.
going on over there,
Yeah. You're trying to get
and
attention somewhere. You can't get it. So you pull the
and it
fucking
works.
fire alarm and you're like, I need,
Yeah,
whatever, you're at a hospital. You're like, this person needs help or some shit, right?
that's it. That's it.
Wasn't
And so
ideal,
that
but it wasn't and of course, they're
right.
commandos. They don't go in with one plan. You go in with five. Yeah.
That's it. And they don't care. It's like they fully expected to die doing it, right? So they all expected they're going to get killed doing it. It's a suicide mission. They know it. And if the mission fails,
They're dead.
they know they're going to get caught and get killed.
Yeah.
So the people, so here, I'll leave you guys with this. So
Yeah.
when MBS said that the team that killed Jamal Khashoggi has been taken care of, no, those were the guys who failed.
Hmm.
So, in other words, he keeps them on ice for a year. Jamal Khashoggi gets chopped up in Turkey. The guys who chop up Jamal Khashoggi are loyal to MBS. Those are his boys, right? They did what he asked them to do. The guys that they beheaded in the public square that he told everybody were the bad guys that chopped up Khashoggi were the guys who were running
Yeah.
upstairs at the Four Seasons who he's had on ice for a year.
Yeah.
And he chops their heads off and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And nobody knows who's who. Nobody knows that the guy whose head just got chopped off was actually running up the stairs October 1st, 2017 with an AK-47 and wasn't the guy. They don't know who's who. Jamal Khashoggi helped plan this thing, helped fund it, and that's why he was killed on the 1-year anniversary.
We'll wrap it up with and as always, dude, I'd love to have you on again. I'd love to jump down the next rabbit hole. Makes me think of that line from JFK when it's like, in order for the coup to take place, right? Like only a small cadre at the very top can know. You must cover it up, and it must at all costs succeed. Right? You come for the
Yeah,
king, you
exactly.
best not miss. They missed.
They
You're
missed and
fucked.
they died.
You're
Yeah.
fucked. It's over.
Maitab bin Abdullah is in prison. Mohammed bin Nayef is in prison. He even imprisoned his own brother. Not Khalid, but his older brother, who was the astronaut, the first Arabian astronaut in space, is in jail. That's his brother. His older brother he put in prison. He
I mean,
knows what everybody's doing because he owns all the same CIA equipment that we have, all that same spy crap
yeah.
where you can listen to all the cell phone. He's got all that.
Yeah.
So he knows what everybody's doing. And he's like, morons, I got the same stuff the NSA has. I hear what you're saying, you idiots.
Yeah.
And he caught them all. God bless him. I love what the guy's doing.
We just
He's cleaning up Al Qaeda. But Bruce Rydell at Brookings says he's a lunatic and he's off the reservation. So that's why this is like the movie Syriana. There are factions within our own agencies and
sure.
these fronts for our agencies that have an agenda and have a horse in the race. And that's scary to me. And I'll leave you guys with that.
Yeah. We just saw right a week ago Prigozhin, right? It's you come for the king, man. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. I'm just talking just objectively. You can't miss. And then if you are the king, you have to act or you show weakness. You have to kill him, or they're going to do it again. They're going to take another bite at the apple. You got it's just, and again, it maybe isn't relatable to us peons because we're not controlling $1 trillion economies. But dude, this is no different than kings going after each other 500 years ago.
Absolutely.
It's the highest
the amount
stakes.
Of wealth. Yeah.
You're controlling militaries, man. You're shaping the world.
Big difference between MBS and Jeff Bezos.
This isn't
MBS has F-16s and F-18s and Jeff Bezos doesn't. Yeah.
This isn't Tommy's podcast on Rumble, man. This is a level of gamemanship that honestly kind of sounds miserable, but that's what they want.
The king of Saudi Arabia is considered by many people to be the wealthiest man on earth. So
sure
whether it's Putin or but you're talking about trillions or quadrillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so again, it's a fascinating story. I think it's accurate. You guys are welcome to watch the videos and come to your own conclusions. And if there's a better theory, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, you and I aren't married to this. I've no dog in the race of who's going after the king of Saudi Arabia. I don't give a shit, man.
I've never even heard of these guys.
I'm trying to get more subscribers on Rumble. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
I like it, man.
Well, thank you for having me back on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, dude, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate the time, and I love having you on. I wouldn't keep having you on, man. It's always an eye-opening episode. I'll shoot you a message on Twitter or something, man. Let's get another one on the books and whatever you want to talk about. I'd love to.
Maybe we'll talk about Ukraine.
Ooh.
And what Dr. Fauci did to maybe get that war started. Because
there's the next episode right there. That's what we're doing. It's been decided. It has been written.
Did Dr. Fauci start the war in Ukraine? I think he did.
Let's go for it. I just like that title alone. Even if we don't have any of it, I just like that title. Did Fauci start the war in Ukraine? I like it, man. Just throwing a grenade in the room. Peace. Okay, so Mr. John Cullen, guys, please go into the description. Please go follow him on Twitter. Please go follow him on YouTube. And keep an open mind. Whatever you think, drop it in the comments and tune in for the next show. Mr. Cullen, thank you for your time, sir. Guys, thank you for watching.